The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today. I never know, like, I'm like, all right, here comes the countdown. I never know what to say. Like, you know, like, I don't like do like I do like all the intro stuff like after, you know, in post, you know. So it's like, I'm like, I don't know. We'll see how this thing works. But yeah, man, this is awesome. I'm glad we had a chance to do this. I'm glad we had a chance to connect at Pooza, you know, and meet. We had an awesome breakfast. Val made a really good breakfast.
Oh, that was delicious. Oh my God. I love Pooza this year. It was rainy as all hell, but I love Pooza this year.
I had a good time. I remember Jeff was like, "This is the first time it's ever rained," and he's been there a bunch of times. And I'm like, "You're welcome. That was my fault." Like, the rain, that gloomy cloud follows me around wherever I go. No, I had a blast though. I did. I had an awesome time. Met amazing people, got to see some amazing bands, you know, like the only thing my only issue is it's overwhelming to try to figure out who you're going to go see and when, you know what I mean? Like you got to split sets. You got to split your time between couple sets sometimes so you can see everybody, you know? So
when I first got as I played Pooza, I'm like, all right, cool, I can do that because I played last year and I had a lot of fun. I got so mad originally because as soon as they announced like the lineups and everything, like the set times and stuff like that, I saw that my dear friend Frank Turner announced a Love Iron song set during my set, and I'm like, motherfucker, because I love that record. Like without that record, I wouldn't be doing Black Guy Fawkes at all. So, and the fact that he was playing it, I could not fucking see it. I was mad that people were going to go to that because I respectfully understand that. I was mad that I could not watch that personally.
Right. Yeah, you were mad you couldn't be there for it. Yeah,
I want to fucking cry my eyes out to everything on that record. But
yeah. I had there was I forget, it was like the second day. I think it was the second day. I was on Instagram and I saw Micah Schnabel said, you know, I'm doing a secret set with Tim Barry. And it's going to be at this time. I'm like, oh, man, I'm clearing my schedule. And then I realized it was for the day before. The algorithm killed me on that one. Like, I was like, son of a bitch. Yeah, but that was fun, man. I've never done anything like that. Like, I went to one music festival in 2001. And it was really weird, right? It was the weekend right after 9/11. It was a very strange time, and like it was like this metal festival out in Worcester, and it was a bizarre time, and I think it was kind of like it was cool to get out there and kind of disconnect from everything that was going on and listen to some music, you know what I mean? But it was a weird time. But like, and then like all my buddies, they've always gone to festivals, like, and I'm just like, So I did that once. I don't want to stand in a field with a bunch of people, you know, like it's. But like Pooza is set up way different, right? It's all at venues and you're like running through the city and trying to get to the next venue. And I liked that. I liked that a lot more. I think I think it's a little more personable, you know?
Yeah, like I last year I went to Fest for the first time, and like during Fest again, it like everything was just spread out like me like 20 minutes away. I'm like, this is way too much. But yeah, Palooza was everything was more condensed. I like that a lot better in
Mm.
my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I like that. And I was thinking about going to Fest and stuff, and I'm like, I think I'm just gonna stick with Pooza. I think I'm just gonna go north. Gonna go north once a year, and you know, so. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time, and again, like, you know, I had a chance to meet you. The day everyone like the day after the festival, after the festivities, right? We were having breakfast and we got to know each other a little bit. And I was like, "You're a good guy," you know. So, I love
Likewise,
your
my guy.
music. Yeah, thanks, man. And I love your music. And like one of the things about your music that, and I think I might have even said it to you at breakfast was this like you're not afraid if you're feeling a certain way. Like you're not afraid to write a song that doesn't sound like the last song or doesn't sound like that other record or you know what I mean? Like I think sometimes people when they write music or anything, if it's you know, you can I think it reflects with television and film and books like if something works, people stick with that instead of doing what they did to begin with, which was exercise your creativity to begin to do something, right? And I really do. I really appreciate that about your music. Now, like, is that something that it just? I mean, is that just was that the game plan? Like, you're just gonna do what you want to do, and that's it with music, or did you kind of like it just fall into that, or?
I mean, I feel like I always wanted to just do again. I just want to do whatever I wanted to do. So it all depends on what I'm feeling at the time. Like a lot of my well, I feel like more so with these last three, especially this new one. My songs I think about records in full, like more than I think about like individual songs, if that makes sense. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so like with intrusive intrusive lullabies when I put out when I was writing that it wasn't necessarily about it wasn't me like just writing like a few songs just to put out as a collection. It was just me just thinking about like how I can do this like thematically and like
Mm-hmm.
the idea for that like I had a hard year back in 2022 and 2021 and when I got myself enrolled back into therapy and I got myself back on medication and like the first line I wrote out of that was the line I can't sleep and I'm like up late with my guitar just playing that song like writing it for the first time. But then that's when the idea for it truly came about. I realized I wanted like an EP, 6 songs about like where my mental state was and like things that keep me up at night. And it
Mm.
all kind of stems from that. And also it just depends on like what I'm listening to at the time. Like intrusive, I was really big into City and Color. I've always been a big Dallas Green fan, but that one really kind of I really wanted to hone in on that sound, like and like a little bit like Bon Iver as well. And usually, like when
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing this stuff, like I look at it. It was when I wrote intrusive. I was looking into. I listened to a lot of Bon Iver forever ago, and I remember like I was listening to the story of how he made that record, how he was going through a bad breakup and like going through the worst year of his life, isolated himself, and then wrote that like in the cabin in the woods. And that was somewhat relatable to like what I was going through. So, and I didn't realize that like after I wrote the record. So
Mm-hmm.
it was really
Mm-hmm.
interesting, like how like some stuff that I'm inspired by musically. Then I'll look at like the history behind it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So well, I
Yeah.
relate to it a lot more.
Do you when like have you always been that way, like to express like to put your heart out there like through creativity, or like because when I was a little kid, like I didn't know how to express emotions and feelings and I mean I probably still don't at 44, but like what I learned was like when I learned about like creative writing, that's kind of how I took that as like a vehicle to run with that and it worked and I was a much different kid once I learned how to write. Like, you know what I mean? Because like I was like, wow, I can get how, and it's through you know I wrote fiction and stuff, but like it was through that stuff that like allowed me to get what I was feeling out there, and like it was because like I come from a time where it's like mental health was like a very frowned upon thing, and like I remember I was in, I went I had to go into therapy when I was in high school, and like it was like it like it was frowned upon and like and
Yeah,
then at 35 I go back right and like for the last almost 10 years now, like it's been great. Like, what I think it's allowed me to be able to talk about it more, because now I'm like, this isn't a bad thing. Like, therapy is awesome, and it helps us learn, and you know what I mean? And it helps us grow. And so, like, I guess, so from a young age, like, were you able to express yourself creatively to get that out, or are you like a kind of open book anyway? You know what I mean?
I feel like when I was younger, when I got into punk and when I started playing guitar, I wasn't really expressing myself creatively. It was more along the lines of I found bands that I fully enjoyed that really kind of helped me get through the day. So when I was young, my gateway drug into punk rock, emo, or whatever you want to call it. I In middle school, I started a new middle school, and it was like a Catholic school basically, and I felt out of place. I didn't know, like, felt weird. I didn't feel like I belonged there at all. But then I remember this vividly. I was sitting on the couch one day, um, and I saw the video for My Chemical Romance, "I'm Not Okay," and that opened up floodgates for me because it was just a video of these kids at granted they were like fucking 20, like 20, 30 years old at the time, but
Mm-hmm.
um, but it was they portrayed like these private school kids like that also didn't fit in. That also felt weird. I felt seen at that point, and it wasn't really until I feel like it wasn't really until college where I discovered, like, Against Me, Frank, Gaslight Anthem, like all these different acts. That's when I feel like I can fully express myself. Because at that point, I was falling out of love with music. Because I played in some bands in high school. Then when I hit college, and music I was listening to at the time was all pop punk stuff. I wasn't really resonating with it anymore. So,
Mm-hmm.
but then my friend gave me Love Iron Song, and that kind of revitalized my whole outlook on music, on how I
That's
can
all.
be more personable, how I can be more raw with and punk rock on an acoustic. So I feel like at that point in my college year, like when I think at that point I was like 19. That's when I I feel like I was more vulnerable at that point. I feel like I got more vulnerable, honestly, during COVID. So that was like when I wrote. That's when I was like starting to write "Life Up in the Bomb" because at that point in time I was going to do a breakup, and I was
Mm-hmm.
going to like some serious mental health stuff. And then on top of that, a fucking pandemic happened. So it was kind of like me alone with my thoughts, kind of figure out, all right, how are you really feeling? Then I just started writing down everything down on paper and pen, and
Mm-hmm.
it helped me kind of be more honest on where I was at the time, and that kind of pushed that moving forward. So
Mm-hmm. Right on, right on. When did you decide, like, when was it like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do? Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do.
it wasn't until my sophomore year of high school. It was a weird situation where I was bullied a lot. Like I was picked on a lot. Like I talk about this online a little bit, but there's a time where I somebody made a rumor that I had a hit list and I was going to shoot up the school.
Jesus
And
Christ.
through that, I battled my own demons. I was losing myself at the time, and I remember I was kicked out of school for like 2 days straight, so they can like
Mm.
investigate this. And my mom had to go up there to protect me and like defend me and stuff. And the kids and I was luckily allowed back in, but the kids at the time who were starting these rumors, they didn't get anything at all. They got slapped on the wrist and don't do it again. And
Of course, of
it,
course,
and
yeah.
like I kept getting bullied throughout my and like hazed and all this stuff throughout my sophomore year, and it helped me had me battle my own mental health issues. And it wasn't until that point where I was locking myself in my room and listening to these records, listening to Black Parade, listening to Paramore, listening to like Mayday Parade, like all these different bands, and that helped me feel more safe. And then it made me realize I want to write music like this. I want to have write music for people that feel the same way I feel. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until again at that point again like when I hit college, I was falling out of love with them. When I found Frank and when I went to his first ever show, it was like him, Larry Ennis Flask, and Jenny Owen Youngs. And I again there's a lot of things I remember like vividly, like fully. and that show was a big one for me because I remember like almost everything that happened during that night. And but also it was the night when I realized I want to do this for a living. I want to just continue doing this. Like music is my calling.
That's
So
awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad you listened to yourself on that one because you know.
thank you.
Yeah. So and then like so, I mean, we were talking right before we started too. Like, you know, you're on the road a lot. You know, you're always out there. You're doing your thing. When did that become a reality for you? Like when did you get on the road and you were just like, yeah, I'm doing this now. Like,
Yeah, so I started getting more out on the road. So it's funny because my first time playing out of state. I think it was my first year. I was asked Black Guy Fawkes, and I played like one house show, one DIY show in Akron, and I was like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. I want to keep doing this. And I did one show at a venue that's now closed in DC called Milk Boy. Um,
mm-hmm.
the promoter at the time kind of ripped me off from that gig. Like nobody in the show got paid at all. I really felt distraught about that. So I kept playing in my hometown. Like this is a safer space for me. I can definitely do this. But it wasn't until I played like this DIY Fourth of July show in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a moment where I realized it went really fucking well. And it was a moment where I realized, you know what, I'll get back out there again. So I just want to just keep playing. Things didn't really start picking up for me, I feel like, until like 2023, because I played with people like Buffalo Nichols, really good blues artists. Then that's when I got signed to Asbestos Records, and that's when I met I met Frank Turner for the first time. He invited me out to go play in Lost Evenings in Anaheim, and from then on, it's just been chaos. Like
Yeah.
I'm just running around all the time and just playing all these shows. And like I think last year was like the first time I kind of went out by myself fully because that's when I did Pooza last year. I toured up the Pooza Fest with Laura Jane Grace. Um,
Mm-hmm.
then flew from there to Vegas. Then did Punk Rock Code down in Vegas and played this really weird after party with co-defendants. Chesky's a good friend of mine, and it was. I don't know if I could talk about what happened at the party, but oh my god, like I saw the weirdest things happen there, and I was told by somebody like, after, yeah, you don't go to co-defendants after parties, sir, I but nobody told me that, but I had fun. It was weird as all hell, but I
Yeah,
had fun
yeah.
during it. Then I after that then went out to Tennessee for George Fest and like just a bunch of stuff. Then I went on tour last year with a band called the Peanuts. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that was like around October. So then with my friend Gab de la Vega, and then this year I just been picking more stuff up along the way, and I've been having fun with it. I can't complain. Granted, Vegas this year I went back to Vegas for Punk Rock Bowling and Punk Rock Showdown this year, and it was the most. I cannot do week long in Vegas at all anymore because it's just hot as all hell.
Yeah.
It's like 105 degrees each day, and everybody kept
Mm-hmm.
telling me it's just a dry heat. I'm like, fuck you, it's not a dry heat at all.
It's
This
hot.
is, yeah, I'm boiling. Like I'm just, and I'm on Zoloft, so I just dehydrate easily. So I'm just like water, water. Oh, just like looking around for it. And then
No.
there's one moment in Vegas that I talk about on the microphone a lot while I was there because it really cemented in how angry I was. I stayed at the Excalibur Hotel thanks to my friend Jean Bonham Fox. Shout out to him. And I went downstairs. I don't gamble and I rarely drink, so I said, I'm just gonna go to buffets and just eat a lot of good Vegas food because I realized that'll be fun. But there's one night I went downstairs to Johnny Rockets, like a national fast food chain or like restaurant ish that I can just go down and get myself a nice cheeseburger, fries and a drink there, and it won't cost me an arm and a leg. Well, it cost me $44
Yeah.
just for that, and that's when I realized in Vegas that God does not exist. God does not live in Vegas at all. It's just capitalism for it. Anyway, but that's me
Yeah.
saying
Yeah. Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas is my purgatory. Like if I
Yeah.
end up in Vegas when I die, I'll be very distraught. Well, other than
Yeah.
that, it was a lot of fun. After Vegas, I went out with Pet Eats. We did a run together. Like then funny enough, I literally just got back home like maybe like 2 weeks ago from tour. So
Yeah.
I am I'm slowly resting myself, but it's hard to because it's this weird dichotomy now where I enjoy my time being home and don't enjoy my own bed, but then like 2 days later, I'm like, all right, I need to get back out there again. I'm bored now.
Mhm.
Let's just go travel. So
Uh, Yeah, I was gonna say it's got to be like playing live, and I mean, it seems like it's a big part of you now, and like does that does that recharge you, like being able to play live, or because like a lot of people couldn't play at all, right, for from 2020 to basically 2022. There wasn't a whole lot going on in 2021. They tried it a couple times and well, maybe not, so like does that recharge you, like being on stage and stuff? I'm sure afterwards like it's a drain, but
there's no other high that I get than from performing live. Like I love being in front of the crowd. I love seeing the faces singing along. I love seeing people just smiling or just getting into the music. It's my favorite thing ever. Because for me, music is a very universal thing where it doesn't matter what class you come from. It doesn't matter doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter anything like that. People try to gatekeep, but at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter because fuck them.
Mhm.
But there's no other feeling than being in a room where people are feeling the same way that you are, and they're here for the same reason, to drink, to listen to the same band, just sing along to the same songs you are, and it just brings people together. Like it's there are a lot of people in my life that I met through music, like either in town or like out of state, and now they're all combined together, and I just love the fact that like either through my music or like through Frank or whoever, my friend bases are like come together to do that. So
It's
I just love
awesome.
what music does.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I was I just kind of like for a long time I kind of traveled. Like I wasn't doing, like I worked jobs and I'd go to different places and stuff like that. But I had a little business for a little while where I traveled a lot, and like for me, I I had this moment where it was in 2019 where I ended up in right outside of Pittsburgh, and I was there from September of 2019 to basically September 2020. And but it was different because like what I was doing, like it was just me, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't meeting people, I was just doing my work, and like I felt like I needed that, like for meant like, so I had some problems going into the COVID as well, like relationship issues or whatever, and just like kind of wrestling with some like life stuff, and like it when the lockdown happened, like it really it did good for me, but it also did a lot of bad for me, like more bad than good. But the good part was I realized I needed people. Like I needed my people, you know what I mean? So I moved back to New England, not necessarily like back home, but back to where I was in Massachusetts, and I was like, all right, I'm a little closer now. Like I still need my distance, but I'm close. I'm like 65 miles from like my parents and all my whole, a lot of my family never left like our hometown. So it's like, and they're down in Rhode Island and I'm up in Massachusetts, but it's like I'm close enough now. Like I can just get there if I have to, not being 550 miles away from anybody you care about. So, but like I always thought about like if I traveled and as like I mean, not a musician because I'm not one, but doing creative stuff and getting like performing and stuff like that. I always thought about like how that I would probably love that too. You know what I mean? And I would, because I would still have my alone time, but I think that was the balance I was looking for, and what I thought was like, like the what's that saying? Like you're walking the desert, like you go out there to find yourself or whatever. Like that was my trip to right outside of Pittsburgh. It was trying, I did the most. I started a few writing projects that like it was probably the most writing I did consistently for by myself. You know what I mean? Without having to like take a break from it, because like that was all I had. So I think that's also where my love for music kind of came back, because I was in a kind of a so as a music consumer when I was younger, music was everything to me. And like and again, like you were saying, like you find a song and you relate to it, you're like, holy shit. Like to the feeling of not feeling alone is like a great feeling, especially when we're tackling these subjects that are like with mental health and stuff, and you think you're a freak because of it, because no one else is doing this. So I had that for so long, and then like I think I kind of fell into the same thing. I was just listening to like like whatever was on the radio, and like I'm like, it's music and I like it, but it's not hitting me the way music used to hit me. And I think it was 2020 when like I started really diving in. And it's funny, you mentioned Frank Turner, like, so I remember in 2011 I saw the Dropkick Murphys, this musician named Frank Turner, because I didn't know who he was at the time. And there was this band called Off With Their Heads. And like, I liked all the bands. And like, it didn't really stick with me though. You know what I mean? Like, and then in 2020, they started to stick with me a little bit more. And I'm like, oh, I remember this band. And like, it's so weird how when you need, like when you're feeling a certain way and you need something from music, like when you find it, it's just like, whoo, and it just didn't hit me the same in 2011 for whatever reason, but in 2020, these songs hit me and I'm like, God damn, like what the fuck? Like
I think around 2020, that's why I started getting more into Off With Their Heads too. Like, and now Ryan, Ryan, he has his clothing company and store Anxious and Angry, and he like does my merch for me sometimes. Sweetest fucking dude, and their songs just hit so hard. Like it was funny. Like I feel like more so in 2020 than onward. Like that's when I got more into like them. I got really big into hot water music like at that point too, and because like Chris Waller and Chuck Reagan, who is my punk rock dad. I love that man to death. Just the fucking greatest. But that's what I mean. Though, like music, like songs you find back then, they're gonna hit you like a lot differently when you get older. Because there's some stuff that I never, I heard, but I just never like paid attention to. Like, okay, so I was just talking to my friend Jimmy Hook about this because we want to go see Laura Jane Grace just a couple days ago in Baltimore, and he started talking about Hanson. And I realized that at one point, like a few years ago, I listened to Mbop. I only knew the chorus, but then I look at the verses to, I'm like, oh my god, this is all relatable content. Like there's substance to this. So yeah, stuff like that. And as far as just being a fan of music in general, like I was talking to I played with Dave Fawkes this year, and I was talking to his manager Alex. I was also talking to my friend John Gebhardt, who does stuff for Lord Jane Grace. And they both kind of said the same thing at different times where they notice how I'm just always on the fucking barricade, no matter who it is. And like during Dave or during Laura, or during anybody, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to sit in the back. Like if I'm at a show, I'm there to have fun. Alongside, before I'm a musician, I'm a fan first. So I want to be up there just having as much fun as I possibly can with everybody because we're all there for the same reason.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Well, I want to say too, like we're gonna change gears a little bit here, but still on the same topic. Like your music's very relatable, and I think it shows. In like from meeting you and like everything, and like I said, like you and I think we were talking. We just met. And Jeff and Val went in the other room, and it was just you and I, and we were just kind of bullshitting, like, and laughing right away, and then you're like, hey, you want to hear some new songs? I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. Like, you have no idea, Ian. Like, I am a person who, in my mind, I'm like every musician that I love and I like listening to and everything. I know they have a treasure chest full of songs that no one ever heard. So, like, when someone's like, hey, you want to hear something no one's heard yet? I'm like, yes, I do. So, yeah, the first song you played me was Racial Battle Fatigue. And I don't know if you remember this, but because again, I'm familiar with your music, so you put it on and I'm like, and then I just kind of looked at you like, whoa, like I had this whoa moment. I'm like, Ian's angry. Like he's really angry in the song. Like, you know what I mean? And I the frustration, like, I mean, I heard, like, I felt the frustration of that song. And I think that's something you don't take that lightly. Like not every song is going to hit like for somebody, but like when you put a song like that out and the frustration that you're feeling conveys through the music, and it wasn't even like, it's one thing if you're playing it for me live, but like we were listening to it on on a device, so like it wasn't even like I was feeling you performing it, you know what I'm saying? But like I did through the song that we listened to. So yeah, that song was like I think I want to say it was like probably the like that whole that whole bottom rung, right, is what we listened to that day. And I was
Yeah.
just like, man, this is like, but I think I think I told you, like, I'm like, you're important. Like, you remember me saying
Thank
that?
you.
I'm like, you're important. Like, you're important. Bands like the Iron Roses are important. Dead Pioneers are important. Like these band, like you guys are out there, and you're putting yourselves out there, and you're being as vulnerable as you can be, and you're not afraid to show everything from your sadness to your frustration to your anger and like and even happiness at times. Like what you do is awesome. And yeah, so that racial battle fatigue is the single that dropped recently, and like I didn't even know it dropped. I happened to see, I think it was on Threads, where I was like, oh, it dropped, and I went and got it. Like I was like, I need this right now. Yeah. So because I'm like, it's just an amazing song. Like, and I feel like, again, where I said about your music in the beginning, like you're not afraid to do different things. Like I think this is the first time I've heard a song with this like real rock and roll, like, I don't want to say bluesy, but it has a blues undertone in the beginning, like from you. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, and again, it shakes things up, it's like, and after listening to the album, that's like the turning point, I feel like, in the sound on this one. And I can feel there's how you were saying when you write an album, like it's how you're feeling through, like, you can see where it starts and where this is where it's like, all right, motherfuckers, I've had enough. And then you get going, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, oh well, first off, thank you for that. I truly appreciate that a lot. For that song in particular, like uh, trying to think of how I want to word this. Well, let me talk about a little bit about the record, like first. But so you talk about like that's a turning point. So the way I write records is kind of like I imagine records kind of like movies, basically, or
Mm-hmm.
like theater, where you have that like small little turning point where
Hell yeah.
there's a low point, then you see like the protagonist or whoever change into who they're supposed to be. So for this record, it was this record is about my therapy sessions. The Misery Suite is about my therapy sessions and like what I walked. The first half of the record that you hear, the first 5 songs, it's about what I walked in there learning. Well, what I walked, not what I walked in, what I walked in with the baggage I walked in with. And then the second half is about what I walked out learning about myself and how I and stuff like that too. And it's kind of mirrored so thematically. So the first track is of course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then as far as like themes goes, it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the mirror for that for Racial Battle Fatigue is another song on there called Low Black Storm Cloud. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you listen to Racial Battle Fatigue, that's the point where I say, you know what? I'm done being somebody's token. I'm done um being somebody's like black friend. I'm done being like they're trying to shut these out for anybody. I'm done just being how people perceive a black singer songwriter to be. I want to be who the fuck I want to be. And if you do not like that, then tough shit, basically. So yeah, that song is probably one of my favorite ones off the record. Like it's hard to choose because like picking your favorite kid, but for that song in particular, I just it hits so hard because when I
Yeah.
started writing this record, I was well before that I was writing a different record that was gonna be like in the same vein as kind of like Beastie Boy, not Beastie, Jesus Christ. I don't even know where I am right now. Oh my, I'm just getting real excited about talking about it because I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
love
yeah.
how
You're
this
good.
turned out. But I was listening to a lot of Radiohead. I was listening to a lot of Block Party. I wanted to write something like that, but nothing I was writing was turning out like that. But then it wasn't until I got really big into I listened to it before, but I listened to it like more in full recently. Was Nirvana's In Utero, and
Mm-hmm.
that sonically kind of inspired like because therapy is a very like grungy. and like dirty process. Like, yeah, it is healing, but also you get real dirty when in regards to it. I
Mm.
wanted this record to have like that sound. So I wanted like more like dirtier, more grungier guitars. I wanted just for the lyricism to kind of be more raw with it. And also that's kind of how I was feeling at the time too. Like they'll be let me be in this very more raw, vulnerable spot, and that kind of helped me kind of write, be better lyric. I feel like better lyrically than ever before. And Racial was my love letter basically to Beastie Boys, to Rage, to like all those different sounds. So I
Mm.
want some like
Yeah.
a lot more heavy, alongside some a little more bluesy as well. And when I wrote that, so I my dear friend on my podcast host, my and my and one of my partners Ed, um, I love him. He's one of my best friends. Um, he heard the early demo of that, and like during the demo, I did not have the verses written, so there I just meowed the whole time during it. And so somewhere out there, it's a version of me just meowing for that whole song, and it's glorious. At one point, I was going to put it out for April Fools, but I didn't have enough time to.
Yeah.
But I for this one, I also got a grant with this record too. I got a grant from the Maryland State Arts Council for like 2,500, so I can make this record alongside like pay all the bills
Yeah.
and stuff I had too. And so when I got that, I just said, you know what, I need to go all out with this. I got this money to make this. Let's make this as big as I possibly can. So, and when I finally got the full song recorded, we thought of I was talking to my manager, my label head Matt Fluff from Asbestos, and he was just talking about we need to for that song, he wanted like to have like a quote in the beginning of it, and I kept thinking like what kind of quotes. So I was just looking up different things. I looked up. I remembered James Baldwin's quote, "To be Negro in this country or to be relatively conscious is to be a state in a rage almost all the time." And we were gonna like use the actual audio clip, but we didn't know if we had to pay like the Baldwin family for anything like that.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
we're thinking, who can we get to do it? Then he said, let's talk to Angelo Moore from Fishbone. And I'm like, I don't know him. And then Flood said, give me 2 seconds. I got this. He called up his Angelo's manager, and then she said, yeah,
Mm.
pay him $100, he'll do it like right there on the spot. I'm like, what? And then like that night we got the track back. I'm like, holy
Mm.
shit, we got
Yeah.
Angelo Moore on this record, and it's got me like I'm more so than I've written for me. I feel like this song in particular is for all the black kids that are alt black that listen to the stuff and just feel the same way that I do,
Yeah.
because at the same point like we all have that feeling inside of like when I played Pecan Pennsylvania, like we did that this year. We actually played the song during that. And it was just a lot of fucking fun. Um, but it was I saw there are a lot of bands on stage and a lot of people like off stage that were black that looked like me, and we all got a photo together, and it made me feel like less alone. And then like there
So,
for that song in particular as well, we got a few people. I wanted that song to have like all black gang vocals on it, so I got my friend Phil Smith from Eugenius, my friend Jake Talbot's on it. My one of my good friends Eric Garlington for Proper, who's probably my favorite band out right now, if I had to say so. And then there's another all black punk band from New York called Rebelmatic, who also play camp, and they're also on the track You Doing Gang vocals, because again that song for me it's universal like black experience, where
yeah.
you don't want to be just like a token. You don't want to be somebody. You don't want people to take advantage of you. You don't want to feel like you're just there just for diversity purposes only. You're there for merit alongside top of that too. So
Yeah. Right on. Right on. I think that's well. I mean, it's a single, so I'm sure you feel the same way. Like you can pluck that song out, even if that was just a single. It tells its own story, and it's there, and it's in your face, and and that was the first one you played me. I remember sitting at breakfast that day, and I was just like blown away. And I cannot wait to hear the rest of this. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, yeah, it's a very very good song. I think it's very like I said, you could just if you never released this album and just put that song out there, it would stand on its own. I think it would also like leave the same kind of mark. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that was that so far. Like, yeah, I listened to that one quite a bit. I bought it on Bandcamp, like I said. So I'm an old.
Yeah.
I don't have Spotify, so I go to Bandcamp and I just buy albums and shit. You know, so but yeah, that was awesome, man. That was a good one. That was a good one. Like I said, I don't want to. We're just gonna talk like the rest of the album. We don't need to go track by track because like the album's not gonna be out by the time this comes out. So I want to wait until that, you know. But like overall, like I mean, yeah, I can feel the progression of the album. I think I'm a storyteller. So when you were saying like lining things up like a movie or like a book or whatever, like I am that's how I see everything, like the whole everything. So like to see that, like sometimes I'll do that with an album, and when I talk to the band or the musician, they're like, no. I was like, oh, I'm glad like that's what you were doing here, because like I'm like, yeah, I mean track by track, you can just feel it, and you can like you and I know it's coming. You know what I mean? And then it happens, and then it's like, yeah, I like that. And you're right. It's exactly this is who I'm like, that transition moment for the protagonist. Like this is who I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, like for this record in particular, well, yeah, for this record in particular, I want to make sure that these songs they can stand on their own. I want to make sure that like even if it doesn't like while they all make a cohesive record, I want to make sure that every song can individually like stand on its own outside the context of the record too. And it's one of my labels said that like for Rachel, that's like he feels like it's the most like sonically out of place song on it. I'm like, I get it to an extent, but if you listen to it in the context of the record, it does make sense. But I personally feel like anybody can write a song. Not that many people like write records anymore. I feel like that's kind of like a lost art form. So I on top of like the band's list, I love concept records. So I love stuff like Ziggy Stardust. I love I love American Idiot. I love Black Parade. I love and so I listened to your review of Life Up from the Bomb that you and Jeff did, which made me cry.
yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, they get me now.
Yeah.
I with a fiery passion, I love musical theater so much, and I'm glad you guys can hear that in my voice and everything too, because I love stuff like I love me and my friend Jess guys we were talking about musicals too. Like I love Jesus Christ Superstar. I love Hamilton. I love I get picked on a lot. I love Cats. I'll watch that religiously. Um, but I love music. Again, I love like the storytelling of that, and I always wanted to kind of incorporate that in my music as well, because
Yeah.
you're,
No, it
you're
was
trying
there.
to.
It was
I was
there. It's there.
oh. Well, I always try to convey like some message, like like for intrusive the message of that record was you're going through like the worst time period right now, and you have all these thoughts in your head, but you are going to make it through. Like the calm is going to get better. And
Mm.
then the message for Misery Suite is just basically you are not your past mistakes. They do not dictate your future, and you can be a better person moving forward. Do not let anybody keep you in that box. And for Life Over the Bomb, the message was things in America are shit right now, and things are falling down in your personal life, and politically, and everywhere in between. But we're gonna make the best out of this mess, and we're just gonna focus on where we are right here in the now, instead of what's gonna happen in the future. So
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to have like some sort of message that goes along with what I'm trying to say throughout this whole record. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, no, it's there. It's there. I want to sidebar real quick. I want to ask you a question, because you said you like musicals a lot and stuff. Have you seen Sinners yet?
I have, yes.
Do you consider that a musical? Would you? If like it's first off, I want to say, so I watched it for the second time last night. It's probably one of the best. It's definitely in the top 5 best movies that were ever made while I was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. For multiple reasons. And like, I feel like it could be a musical. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it is one, but like just the way, and I mean, the power of music is one of the undertones of the film, right? So, like, it made sense to have as many songs as they did and things that they did with it. But like, would you consider that like I just on a personal level?
I, I, mm, I could make the argument that it is because there are a lot of musical elements and that whole dance scene in the middle of that while he's playing in that at the party
Yeah.
fucking like it could be considered a musical. Like I can understand arguments why it is. I feel like it's that fine line of ambiguousness where it could be, but also if somebody says it's not, then you'll get it at the same time. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather argue about that than whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie because it's fucking not. But uh,
Right.
I hate that argument so much. It's funny. So funny enough, like on the argument, like this is a completely different sidebar, but me and Vanessa and Micah, we were talking about
I love them.
they're
I
my
love
favorite people
them.
of all time.
I just had them
And,
on. They're gonna be their episode comes out in a couple weeks.
like, it's funny enough. Micah, he was lyrically, Micah was a big influence on this record too. Like for Racial and also like Glass Houses as well. Micah was like a big influence. 'Cause I love that spoken word that he does like throughout this stuff, and he's just him and Vanessa. Because
Hmm.
they're two of my favorite people. I met Micah like when I found Two Cow Garage like back in 2018 because he opened up for Lucero. And since then, like Micah is just they are the sweetest and they're just the most creative and just hardworking human beings that people need to pay more attention to, in
Yeah.
my opinion. But we were at Pooza and we're at the merch we're setting up at the merch market and we got on a conversation of is a hot dog a sandwich? I forgot who started it. But I made the argument. I can't claim the argument because somebody else got made online. But it makes sense for me, guys. You agree with it? If you take away the bun, hot dog is still a hot dog. So therefore, it is not a sandwich at all. Or that's my side note after talking about Sinners and Die Hard. Even though,
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's fucking great. And also, those two people belong on that list that I said earlier of like we need people like you and them and those other bands I mentioned. Like they belong on that list as well. Because yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to ask about that because like you know how like sometimes movies will do a little thing so they like what was that movie, The Martian, where was that the one where the dude was like stuck on a planet or whatever? I never even saw it,
yeah,
but like yeah, so like they did like they because of like XYZ it was allowed to be nominated because like they don't do sci-fi and horror, so like it was nominated for like comedy or some stupid shit like that. Like, but like with Sinners, like I think they didn't do that to put that in the category for the Oscars. You know what I'm saying? Like they did
yeah.
that so because like that was the movie. So that's why I'm like I think it could be. You know. Yeah. So I mean I got a lot of thoughts about that movie. We can talk about that after though. So
Well, I enjoyed it. So I love Ryan Coogler in general. Like he's probably one of my favorite directors right now. Next to Edgar Wright. Um,
Mhm.
I love what he did with Creed. Like
Yeah.
that whole that both of those movies. I love so of course I love Fruitvale Station. Um, granted the story of Oscar Grant is so fucking tragic, and
Yes.
but he portrayed that just so well, and because I'm still in my heart I'm still a superhero fan. I'm still a comic book fan. His Black Panther was so
Oh,
awe-inspiring
so
for
good.
me, and like
Yeah.
the first one with Chadwick, then the second one where how he honored Chadwick, just fucking incredible. And I will watch anything that he puts out because it's just everything he puts out is just gold. Like
Yeah.
you can't say otherwise about it at
Yeah.
all.
Every movie you mentioned I've seen, and you're right. Like he's I haven't seen the second Black Panther movie yet, but
I bawled my eyes out during that whole thing. It's
yeah.
so well directed, it's so good. And Angela Bassett in that movie, my heart. my
Uh,
heart. She was just perfect in every
yeah,
single way.
yeah, I like her. Yeah, yeah, she's a favorite of mine when I see her in films.
Yeah.
For sure. What? Yeah. So yeah, yeah. He's phenomenal. And like I said, Sinners is like just the multitudes, like the layers of the film, and like it's just like I had to like. I remember like after I watched it the first time, I had to go online. I'm like, am I fucking crazy or did I just think of it? Like I said, like I'm a storyteller, so I'm like, did I just witness this for the movie? And like it confirmed it. I was like, all right, good. I'm like, I wanted to, because like I was talking with somebody and like they were like they got it, but they didn't get all of it. You know what I mean? Like, and I was
Yeah.
like, no, it's more than just that. Like that wasn't just like the White Devils. Like those weren't, that wasn't what that was really. Like that was, it had to do with like, cultural assimilation. You know what I mean? And I was just like, this is fucking crazy how well they did this.
One of my best friends, um, he has Irish heritage, and he also plays a lot of bluegrass too.
Mm.
And he was with me a lot, like while I was making this record and all that too. And I wanted to go see Sinners, and and he said, "Oh, I've been wanting to see it. I know nothing about it." Like, he went, "Who's the villain?" I went, "Oh, the villain's you." He just, then he saw me. He's like, "You know what? I get it."
Yeah. 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 And just the link too, like just the link between like folk music in like in the different cultures, but before colonialism, like the cultures were similar, and it hit so many levels, and I was just like, I was like, i'm I'm really excited to watch it for a third time. You know what I'm saying? Like I just can't, like it's just I from a storytelling standpoint, it was perfect. Everything
And
about it.
I guess on a similar note too, like going back a little bit, I guess full circle. That's why, not necessarily because of that movie, but that's why I wanted Rachel to sound that bluesy, because at the end of the day, blues is our art form. So I wanted to kind of
Yeah, yeah.
have that kind of
No,
like that blues chord progression to go along with it.
I love it, man. I'm not. I love blues. I know, but I know who I like more than I know like of all of it. You know what I mean? I wish I knew more, and I'm always trying to listen to more. Like I think, and that's why we do that episode like with Jeff. Like why we do the roundtable is so we can like reach out to a different. That's why the X Factors get crazy. Like last month it was hot dog. We had to find something with a hot dog in it. I ended up finding some like parody, like they covered 80s songs in black metal, and like like I had to like so, but like, well, we had it, we did like a blues, we did a blues one time, and yeah, it's just like I love blues. Like I'm a huge I'm just a huge fan of the music, and you can trace it back, like that's where rock and roll came from. You know what I mean? Like people, I don't know, people don't get it sometimes, but
No, it's true. That's one thing. Like me and a few like on Black Music we talk about. Just it is at the end of the day, it's kind of our art form. So not saying I'm not trying to take it back, but I'm also just trying to push myself forward. So I anybody who tries to gatekeep,
yeah,
I get real mad about that
yeah,
real fast. And because there needs to be more, like, so there's a festival, um and they had pretty much, it was like a bluegrass fest, and it had predominantly just all, not predominantly, it was like an all white lineup basically. And then
mm,
people try to make an argument of somebody who I know try to say that we need more black artists on this lineup because they're part of the scene as well. Then there's a barrage of comments like saying, "Don't go for the color, just go for the vibe." Like, first of all, if the vibes are off, then I don't want to be there. Alongside you say you don't care about the color of people that are playing, that derails everything that I want to do while I'm there. They see the argument, so, well, black artists, they don't sell that many tickets. I'm like, it's a fucking festival. We
right,
can, the festival are there to for you to discover new acts. They don't necessarily have to bring in tickets. That's why you get major headliners too. Let's
mm-hmm.
bring some other acts that are black
Mm-hmm.
that can have their foot in the door for people to be exposed to them. So It just sounds like just lazy, like just lazy arguments alongside the fact that well, we don't know any black acts that play bluegrass or acoustic. First off, you can
What?
in my in my hand right now is not a phone, it's a supercomputer. You can
Right,
type in on Google
right,
black
right,
bluegrass acts and find
right.
them in a matter of seconds.
Yeah,
Like or acoustic acts. Like it's so. All I'm saying, if you put in the respect on Tracy Chapman's name, I swear, for good, because an acoustic act, you can talk about that all fucking day. But
right, right.
it's just, I hate arguments like that, and I'm just hating the ways they try to gatekeep address, try to justify excluding us or silencing us from musical conversations, even though we are very much in this scene and we're very much out there, and we are proving that we're out there and doing a shit ton better than most people are. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Good. Keep being that driving force. You know what I mean? Like fight. Like yeah. And I think you're right. I think people are they're lazy and they and they hide their they try to hide behind things. You know what I mean? Like it's just
yeah.
like just you know.
You find
Oh
the best bands when you go to these festivals. Like, there's one band who I highly recommend you get on this podcast. They're a three-piece punk band, black femme fronted from Scranton or like Northeast PA called
hmm
Pucker Up. They played a camp this year.
what's their name?
Pucker Up.
Pucker. Oh, it sounds familiar. I might have heard them. Okay.
I I'll send you send you their record. It is incredible. But I saw them at camp. I never heard of them before. It's like the day that I was playing, and they blew me away completely. And
hmm
I highly recommend if you get a chance to just check them out. Like there's so many good bands like there in punk and just in general that are black that are doing like proper like I mentioned. The OBGMs out of Toronto. Denz is one of my boys. I fucking love him to death. Drake Talbot, um, Rebelmatic, Pucker Up, Soji out of Philly are real fucking good. Like a band that we need right now, in my opinion. Like there's so many of us in this scene that are doing it well that people just really need to pay more attention to. Alongside the bad ups too, like they're like a ska band.
Yeah, yeah. I love Travis. Yeah, yeah. He's been on the podcast a couple times now. Yeah.
Fuck, I love Travis so much. We met for the first time at camp. It's just so fucking welcoming. Like it's some on the side while I'm playing on the sidelines, fucking just dancing along, just fucking singing along when he did Black Me Out, and he was just so
Yeah.
wholesome. Love that man.
Yeah, I used their record in the record club too, so that was cool. I was able to I love Travis. Him and I always end up talking about dance hall because like I I grew up like I listened to a lot of reggae growing up and like a lot of dance hall and stuff like that. So like we talk about dance hall all the time, and it's like people are like it's funny because like I had met I had worked with a couple dudes from Jamaica one time, and like they were talking about like they were just talking about music, and I'm like, oh yeah, man, I love dance hall, and they're like, oh, okay, like they thought I was gonna say like Beanie Man and Buju Banton. I started throwing some deep cuts at them, and they were like, whoa. I'm like, dude, I love Danny English, and they're like, whoa.
so my
So
are you familiar with Asbestos then? Asbestos Records.
yes.
Yeah, it's like I pick on Matt Flip about ska pretty much all the fucking time, and he's been pestering Frank to do a ska record
Mm.
at least one time, but which Frank said I'm busy right now, but we'll see. I don't know yet, but she's trying to push Frank to do like his dream. So Flood helps out with Supernova Ska Fest, and they're the ones who got Cat Bite and Lord Jane Grace's like Operation Ivy set.
hmm
And his next one that he's trying to do, he's trying to get Bendo and Soundclash and Frank to do a specials cover set,
Nice.
which I would watch in a heartbeat
Yeah.
if I ever make it down to Supernova. But
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm getting a lot more like Sky like and shit like that recently. That just from being on the special, being just thrown in my face every fucking chance that he gets to. But I love he's one of my close friends now. He's a buddy of mine. He's like my big brother slash dad. I love him to death, but I pick on him all the time
That's
about
funny.
Sky, like all that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, what's funny? I really never. I really never got into at least third wave ska, like not really, like I was just like, like I like rocksteady and like first wave ska, and I love reggae, dancehall reggae to be, more precise, and like, I just don't know why I never got into third wave ska. Like, I never got it, and there's been I've had a couple close encounters, with like some ska punk bands like that. I'm like, all right, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Like what what the kilograms are doing, like that I don't even know. Like when I talk to Sammy, like I'm like, this isn't ska, this is something completely different, but it's got all these other elements into it, Like I love that. I just never really got into the third wave ska stuff. I don't know if I'm just like, I don't know if I'm just being like pretentious about it or what. But
I love what Sammy's doing. I love I love what I love Catbite. Tim and Brittany are just like really good, just good musicians. Just that band is it's blowing up as they should be. Funny. So my introduction in like ska punk and all that. So when I got big into My Chemical Romance, my my mom fucking hated them so much. Like, this is so depressing. It's so just death ridden. Why do you like this stuff? And she took the CD away from me. Said, "Here, listen to this instead." And it was Real Big Fish. Turned the radio off, and that was how I got fully into like fucking ska, like all that shit too. Like ska punk. Then, last year I went to punk rock bowling for the first time. I saw English Beat play, and that set was just transcending. It was just so goddamn good, and
it's all.
It made me realize that I'd rather be in a ska pit than I will be like being a regular punk pit. Because at least ska, everybody's just skinny, everybody's gonna have a good time. But in punk pit, I might die. Like I'm relatively young. I'm 32, but I also don't want to get hurt. I don't want to break my legs or get punched in the face or anything like that.
I'm 44. I don't want to get hurt either.
It's funny. Like I'll still write a barrier. Like, well, for some shows, I just want to find somewhere to sit. Like I have my time up front. Everybody else, more power to them. Younger generation, pass the torch. But I need somewhere to sit. I need medication right now, or some water.
Yeah. I'm either way in the back or I'm like by the merch table side of the stage kind of thing.
I feel like it depends on the band for me too. Like if it's Frank Vislora or if it's anybody who I love, like Dave Haas or Bad Cop, which fun fact, Lynn's on my next record.
Nice.
I'm not sure. Yeah, she's on the third track on that. On it, which Lynn Lee is one of my favorite human beings of all time. I love her to death. She's like my big sister.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually just sang together, like the song that we did in Anaheim. When I was on tour at Pet Needs, but I'll write a barricade for back up all the time for anybody who I'm close friends with. I will write a barricade for them. But for some acts who I'm I don't want to sound bad, but I as much as I want to be in a barricade, my back hurts now. So I want to find somewhere that has a accessible seat for me to sit down in, or at least somewhere closer to beer or water for me to get recharged.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey man, hey, that's it. It's just time. That's what time just does that to us, Oh man, Ian, this was awesome. Thanks for coming on, man. The door's always open, no matter what. If you got a record coming out, or if there's something going on and you want to talk about it, or like if you need to, given the way the world is today, you want to come back and unload, like let's do it. You know what I mean? Door's always open.
So for all those who are listening, so Misery Tweet is out right now for pre-order. You can get a nice red and black splatter vinyl, or you can get a nice white vinyl. I have 2 singles out right now. I have Racial Battle Fatigue, and by the time this comes out, I'll have the next one, Cause for Alarm. That'll be coming out, and we are doing we'll be having a CD release show in Pittsburgh, September 19th.
Cool.
With Endless Mike and the Beagle Club at where is it? I cannot remember right now because I'm tired. But you'll find it online at some point.
Yeah. So the new record, the pre-orders now. You said?
Yeah, pre-orders are right now.
The Misery Suite. That's the name of the record, right? All right. So pre-order the Misery Suite now by Black Guy Fawkes, and go see it. Go catch a show. God damn it! Right?
Hey, please come out to shows. Come out to shows. We need want to meet more friends. We want to make more fans. So
Yeah,
come out,
yeah.
do whatever you can. And Trev, this has been so much fucking fun. I honestly had like the best time doing this.
Thank
Like
you. Thank you. Are you coming to New England at all anytime soon? That you can mention?
So I'm not to play, but I'm
Yeah.
coming up um October 18th because so Rise Squad Media they're doing a festival. They're doing like a show they call Circuit Breaker, and
Okay.
which like it's like a semi mixed genre. Um, no, let me see if I can find that lineup for you. Oh, there it is. So funny enough, Sammy's going to be there with Kilograms. So it's,
Oh yeah. He told me about this show. He sent it to me. Yeah. I think I'm am I working that day? I think I'm off October 18th.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm off that day, so I might just have to go check it out.
Yeah, it's Kilograms is Pie Tasters, Doped Up Dollies, Raging Nathans, Working Class Stiffs, What Nows, um, at and there's one name I can't I don't know if I can pronounce it right, so I'm not gonna butcher it. But it's at the Middle East.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. Well,
So
you're gonna be up here for it though.
yeah, I'm planning on coming up there for it. I love women of Rise Squad Media. They put on Camp Pennsylvania. Laura McKenzie, Terry, Allie, like all of them. They are the sweetest fucking human beings of all time. And I will travel anywhere they were to put on the show where they make everybody just feel at home. They're working on the podcast too, by the way, just to talk to
Nice.
them about what they
Yeah.
do.
Awesome. All right. Well, cool. Thanks, man. Again, appreciate you, Ian. Whenever you want to come back, you got it.
Great, man. Thank you so much.
Too young to self-destruct, too old to give a fuck about when I'll die. But I found out my own